I'm excited to be here presenting today, and I hope that the information that I'll be sharing with you will give you some ideas on how to integrate Pluralsight within your organization. We appreciate your business, and we're excited to share this information with you. So a little bit about me. I'm really proud to be part of our enterprise sales team. I've been in the online e-learning, whatever you'd like to call it, industry for a while now, and what I really enjoy is helping our customers see the results of their Pluralsight programs and bringing that into their organization, and to really see how Pluralsight offers your employees opportunities for growth. That's one of the wonderful parts of that I get to see in this job and get to share within our organization. So what I'd like to do is start off with a couple of polls to just find out a little bit more about who's on the line. So the first poll that I'd like to open is, what's your experience with on-demand training within your company? So you can just click right there on your screen and answer whether you're currently using Pluralsight, whether you're using another on-demand learning partner, whether you're about to begin using on-demand learning, whether you use a blend of both in-person and on-demand, and just go ahead and click on the screen to provide your answers. And I'll give everyone a couple of more minutes to enter their responses. So it looks like we have a bunch of responses, and here we have our results. So wonderful. We have a lot of Pluralsight current customers on the line, and we also have people who are using in-person training. It's good to see there. And then the next question that I'd like to show is, what is the size of the team that you're currently managing? So I can get a little better understanding of the sizes of the team that you have. Go ahead and enter in your responses. Okay. Thanks everyone for providing your input. And we seem to have a range, ranging from less than 10 people on your team to about 50 to 75 team members. All right, so let's jump right in. And what I'm planning to share today are 10 effective practices that, in my experience, have worked for integrating Pluralsight within companies. When you decide to bring Pluralsight or any on-demand training into your organization, you find that it's a great decision that you've made. It's a wonderful tool, but you might struggle with how to weave it into the culture of your organization. So I've put together these 10 effective practices that some companies choose to use all 10. Some companies just use a few of them, but they really have worked out to be effective practices for doing the integration work and really making Pluralsight part of the fabric of your organization. So the first one, and I started it off as the first one because it is very important, is to set program goals. So anytime you introduce something new, it's a good idea to make sure that you're on track and have an endpoint in mind as you bring on something new into your organization. So setting your program goals for the Pluralsight program is an important thing to do. So here are some ideas that I've listed that might be program goals for the Pluralsight program within your organization. And the goals that you set are probably best when they mesh with your company's goals. So I'm sure that every company you work for has goals for the organization, and then those goals trickle down through the other areas of the company. There might be IT-related goals, sales-related goals, marketing-related goals. So if you're focusing on upskilling your IT organization, work with your CIO, CTO, and see how you can mesh your Pluralsight program goals with the IT organization goals. So that's a great way to start to decide to set your goals. And then, the last one I listed here is in terms of saving money. That's an easy one for you to focus on or to add in addition. The saving money is kind of a given one, especially if you're migrating from an in-person classroom model to an on-demand model. Just going for, let's say as an example, a 3-day program where you're only learning one thing that might cost $1,000 a person, and then migrating over to a Pluralsight license where that same information is distributed on an on-demand way, but you also have access to so many other content subjects in the same license at half the price, if not less. That's an easy way for you to show an immediate program goal. And again, I wanted to remind everybody, please feel free to post your questions in the question box, and we'll get to those as we go at the end of the program. So first effective practice, set goals for your program. And then I wanted to share a reminder about setting program goals is that they need to be SMART. So they need to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time sensitive. So just a simple reminder there on how to set your goals, that they need to have that, follow that SMART acronym. The second effective practices that many successful program implementations use is to generate awareness. When you bring Pluralsight into your organization, you kind of can't, set it there and forget about it. You have to generate awareness. So there are many vehicles in which to do that. Newsletters, your corporate intranet, if you have social communities within your organization, if you have the ability to put up posters in break rooms or lunch areas to generate awareness about the Pluralsight program. It's wonderful to be able to continually remind people that this is something that's available to your organization, to your individuals, to your employees. So really remember to generate awareness and keep people reminded that this wonderful opportunity exists for them within your organization. The last one that I mentioned there, video messages. We've had companies who have recorded, announcements, and if you have elevators within your organization where you can display those video messages, or we have companies that have TVs that play in their cafeteria areas. That's also another exciting way to get the word out about the program within the organization. So second effective practice, generate awareness. The third, gather support. It's nice to have allies, and the way to do that is by asking at the many levels within your organization, and I would start at the top. If you can get an announcement coming from the president, CEO of your organization, letting everyone know that this has been put in place within your company, and really kicking it off with a strong message, encouraging everyone to take advantage of everything that the license would offer to them, that will go a long way to having a successful program. So gathering that kind of support is, and studies have shown that the higher level support you garner is more effective to having long-term success of the program. But if your CEO isn't willing to, I'm sure that either a team lead or someone else within the organization who's willing to put their name behind this program and really stand behind it will also help you within the organization. So gather that support. It's great to have a lot of allies that you can rely on to help you get the word out about the availability and the benefits of having Pluralsight within your company. Third practice, gather support. The fourth item that I wanted to share with you is the ability for you as the team lead or plan managers to provide guidance to your license holders. So you as the lead can provide guidance to your employees by putting together learning paths that they can follow. If there are specific goals that they have as an individual, or if there are specific goals set out for the team to bring everyone up to speed on a specific topic, specific content, specific operating system, specific code base, you can put together that learning path to share so that will be guidance for them. Set up some discussion forums or have them participate in the discussion forums that exist within the Pluralsight site. They can go out there and get guidance from the experts. So our authors, who are subject matter experts in their fields providing our content, are out there monitoring this discussion forums for each of their courses and are there to provide guidance to your employees if they have questions along the way. We have a lot of organizations that have created an internal mentoring system. So the mentors exist for subject matters, so they are paired up with the people who are taking that area of education, and the mentors help out by providing guidance to the people going through those courses. And an exciting acquisition that Pluralsight has made recently of the company how-tos, which we are integrating into our site, will provide an additional area of guidance for your employees. And the how-tos service is an additional mentoring vehicle using experts to provide answers to questions as people might be going through the content. So the fourth effective practice is to provide guidance. The fifth effective practice, link to other company learning initiatives. There are probably a lot of initiatives underway within your organizations to upskill, to meet the demands, future demands of the company, to provide insight into, maybe you're working on transitioning all of your existing services to maybe having a mobile access. So there are probably a lot of learning initiatives underway. Find out about those. Do some research within your organization and see if you can link what's available within Pluralsight to those existing company learning initiatives. So it's more of a blended approach. They might have some things in place, but get in there and really weave what's available within Pluralsight into those learning initiatives that are existing within your company. So the fifth effective practice, try to link Pluralsight into company learning initiatives. And the sixth most effective practice, share. So not only do you as the plan manager or team manager have the ability to provide guidance, but there are vehicles built into the system to enable peer-to-peer sharing. So people can share their favorite courses by just clicking on immediate links within the site. They can share it on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter. So all of those buttons exist within the service for them to be able to share. They can also talk about their favorite authors. On your intranet sites, or if you have other vehicles for sharing information, you might set up a special page for Pluralsight within your company for your employees to be able to share this type of information. They can share what's worked for them. They can share articles that they found or great webinars that they've attended. So sharing is an important part of an effective program, and especially on the peer-to-peer level, because people like to hear what their peers are looking at. And that's a great way to really mesh the program into the fabric of your company by sharing. The next effective practice is to make sure that everyone knows that not only is Pluralsight a wonderful place to go to for following along a learning path, but it's also effective to be used as an on-the-job support tool. And the on-the-job support tool is available by going into the transcript for each of the courses and searching for what they might be struggling with at the moment. So they can go in there, search for the content that they're looking for help with, and get immediate assistance on the job as an effective support tool. A lot of people might not know that that exists. So by reminding everyone that that is part of what's available within their Pluralsight subscriptions, that also helps to blend it into the fabric of where they might go for answers. Instead of going out to Google and wondering whether the validity of the answer that they'd received from Google is correct, have them go into Pluralsight first and search for that answer within the Pluralsight content. So the seventh effective practice is use it, encourage people to use it as an on-the-job support tool. The next item that I'd like to talk about is gathering testimonials. I had spoken before on the sharing effective practice that people like to hear from their peers. So sitting down with someone who's really gathered a lot of help from their Pluralsight license and been able to improve in their job roles or start working on a new project because of what they've learned within Pluralsight, sit down with them and record a testimonial. It could be a video testimonial that you can post on your intranet, wherever you might be able to post videos. It can be an audio testimonial that people can listen to, or just have them type up something really quickly that you can share on the various vehicles that you would share that type of information. But testimonials really go a long way to helping solidify what the benefits and bonuses are of having a Pluralsight license. And I'm sure you have a lot of champions within your organization that you might be able to tap on the shoulder and ask them to provide that input. The ninth item that I'd like to share with you is get some healthy competition going within your organization. So by healthy competition, I mean, have it be fun and light, not, you'll be penalized if you don't use it, you're a champion if you do use it, but some healthy competition. And it might, one of our companies that we work with in the banking industry does something where they encourage people to share courses, share playlists, and the playlist that gets accessed most wins something that month. Other companies do it based on time spent in courses or most courses access. So setting up those little healthy competitions and maybe giving some movie tickets out or something else that would work within your organization to the winners, that's a great way to get people engaged and getting them, interacting with their colleagues and really setting up a healthy way to get more use out of the service. So another great way to have an effective practice implemented is setting up some healthy competition. And the last item is really pretty important as well, and I probably should have put this second, but establishing a supportive learning culture. We have a lot of companies who set goals for their employees. So we have an organization that set a goal of 40 personal learning development hours for the year that their employees each had to meet. So that's one way of doing it, an annual goal. Or to set a learning culture of, let's say, every Friday, an hour is set aside out of everyone's day where they can go and take that hour and learn. But really, one of the wonderful things about the Pluralsight, the way that Pluralsight courses are created as well, is that they're divided into short segments. So when people just have 15 minutes available to them, or even less, they can go out and watch some content and learn something in those 15 minutes. And if you catch someone watching some content and you acknowledge that and say, way to go, that's really creating a supportive learning culture. So they shouldn't be penalized for developing themselves. They should be supported and encouraged. So putting that in place, getting the highest level within your organization to stand behind that and putting that into the culture of your organization will really go a long way. So these are the 10 effective practices reiterated. And again, I call them effective practices. They have been for a lot of our organizations that we work with. And they are yours to pick and choose as you see fit. I'd love to hear from you now to see, type in the question area to see what has worked for you, whether you have any suggestions that I've left off the list of the 10 effective practices. I'd love to see those as well. So I do see that we have a couple of questions. The first one is, do we have any templates for newsletters or emails? That's a great question, and we are working on putting those together, both templates and newsletters. But do know that a newsletter goes out to every Pluralsight subscriber, notifying them of new courses that have been released. So that's already going out to all of your users. So they're getting information from Pluralsight on an ongoing basis. But we are working on creating some templates for you as plan managers, and we're also putting together a portal for you to be able to access those templates, those emails and newsletters. And a lot of companies send out information on, company-specific data points. So they list the top 5 users based on time spent on the service. They list the top 5 courses that have been popular within the organization. So those are just some ideas of what information you might want to cover in a newsletter or an email that you send out to your employees. And we do have another question, which is, do you have any clients that have used the APIs to integrate Pluralsight with their LMS and or configuration documentation? And yes, we do have several customers who use APIs that Pluralsight has available to integrate into their LMS. And I encourage you to work with your internal Pluralsight contacts to get more information on that if you'd like to know more about how to go about integrating into your LMS. Are there any other questions?
Lori, I don't see any other questions coming in at the moment. Let's see. Do you have any other remarks or suggestions for the audience at this point?
Only to say that I appreciate everyone spending the time and dialing in and sharing the questions that you did share. And I look forward to hearing from you to see what's worked, what hasn't worked. Please go ahead and reach out at any time to your Pluralsight contacts, to myself, and happy to spend this time with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lori, for presenting, and thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you have additional thoughts on what's worked for your company or additional questions that you didn't think of at the moment, you can always follow us on Twitter and remark with the hashtag PluralsightLive. Continue the conversation there. If you have other questions for us about the webinar system or ideas for other content that you'd like to see, please feel free to reach out at us. We can be reached at webinars@pluralsight.com. And again, before you leave, please feel free to take our survey. Let us know what you thought, if you have additional ideas as well. And with that, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again, Lori, and everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.